Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining us today on this webinar. We're really excited to be here. So let us know where you are in the chat. I'm Paddy, I'm from Vancouver. So it's that nice grey and wet over here. And today I'm joined by two amazing guests. I've got Candice Haitien, who's a product marketing manager over at Zapier. And then I've got the founder and CEO of Pictory, Vikram Chalana. It's great to have you both here, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Great
Yeah,
to be
thank you.
here.
What we're going to do before we dive into it, I just want to give everyone a quick heads up that this webinar, we're going to be kicking off a really big Pictory and Zapier challenge. So if you stick around to the end, you're going to learn all about how to automate all those tedious tasks and all those things that are getting on your nerves within your business. So stick around for that. It's going to be absolutely awesome. So let's jump into the agenda. So I'm going to quick cover off like why this matters now, like why automating your business, why using video is absolutely crucial, and it's almost it's table stakes now. It's something you cannot pass on anymore. We're going to talk about some of the bottlenecks that are stopping people from scaling, and we're going to actually go through an automation build and a workflow build that Vikram put together, and then at the end we're going to head on into the challenge. But before I do that, again, want to bring on our esteemed guest, Candice. And Candice, thank you so much for joining us, and give us everyone a little bit more about what you do over at Zapier and what you guys are all about.
Yeah, thank you so much, Patty. Hi, everyone. It's really good to be here. I'm Candice Heitinen. I'm a product marketing manager at Zapier. And for those of you who are not familiar with Zapier, or maybe you are familiar with Zapier, I just wanted to give a little bit of context for you, just to give you all some details before we get going. So at Zapier, we really see every day how the combination of powerful content tools like Pictory and smart automation can completely change the way that teams work, helping them move faster, be more consistent, and focus on the creative work that matters the most. So again, for those of you who don't know, Zapier is actually a no-code automation platform. It lets anyone connect to their favorite apps, like some of the apps that you see here, and set up automations that save you time and reduce manual work. And instead of moving data or copy and pasting between tools, Zapier does it for you in the background. And the scale, really, as you can tell from the number of apps we have represented here, is unmatched. We have 300 AI apps, including Pictory, and we're growing and adding more every month. And then that's within our 8,000 work apps that are continuing to grow as well outside of the AI category. So whatever you're working on, you can find the app for it on Zapier. So thanks, Patty.
Oh, you're
Looking.
welcome. Thank you. It's absolutely awesome. Yeah, it never ceased to amaze me how many apps and how many things you can even do within the platform. So I'm really excited to share the Copilot example a little bit later. And of course, nothing would be complete without having founder and CEO Vikram come and talk a little bit more about Pictory. Obviously, I work at Pictory as well, but we want to hear it from the guy who found it. So Vikram, take it away.
Hey everyone, this is Vikram. I'm calling from the Seattle area, Seattle, Washington, where the sun is peeking out today, even though it should be raining. But hey, that's it. That's how it goes. So we built Pictory something about 5, 6 years ago. We started in the middle of the pandemic, and it was all about repurposing content. We saw that a lot of people wanted to create videos, but video creation, video editing was just very hard. And so we took that challenge upon ourselves to make the Canva for video, but using AI. And that's what we've been about. But the other twist here is repurposing content, because what we find is everybody has content in the form of text documents, blogs, PowerPoints, and we help convert that into short, engaging videos, and that's what we've been all about. And now we've added like idea to video, so you can just type in some ideas and it'll convert that to video. We're very excited about our Zapier integration, and I just keep exploring. Every time I play around and put a demo together, I'm like, I could do this and I could do this. It's like a candy store for me. I'm a little kid in the candy store when I play in Zapier. So it's really exciting to be here and share our examples with you.
Thank you, Vikram. That's awesome. And if everyone's been thinking why this matters now, I'm sure everyone knows the video is important, but depending on like what you're doing within your business, video now is proven to get 300% more click-throughs on your content. Your videos are 50x more likely to reach higher on search. And then obviously if you're in the education space, if you're transmitting a message to someone, if you're trying to communicate, 95% of that message is retained when presented in video when compared to text. And just move that away here. But one of the stats that came up, which really blew my mind, and this came from Neil Patel and his team over at MP Digital. What we're seeing now is that YouTube, obviously a video-driven social media network, are coming up as like the most cited areas for ranking your content. So you cannot do SEO, you cannot be found without video anymore. And if you're in the business of maybe advertising, you've got a newsletter, or perhaps you're a brand and you're selling advertising space. I spoke with the team over at Passion Fruit a little while back, and they're telling me that 73% of all of the advertisers who book with these newsletters, these publishers, and these brands, they're also booking video format sponsorships. So again, video is absolutely crucial. But one thing that I want to highlight here is that 82% of businesses are not using AI for their video or within their video process. It's a it's a game-changing opportunity, because this shows that the market is still wide open for people to come and take advantage of this. So it's not a fad that's here to stay or gone tomorrow. It's something that's going to be sticking around for a very long time. And this is why I want to just quickly chuck a couple of questions over to, first of all, to Canvas. Why isn't like just working harder like a realistic option anymore, like from your perspective?
Yeah, that's a good question. I would say I think most teams are aware of how much they're already producing in terms of content, how many workflows they already have in place. And so for leadership to come in and ask them to work harder, it's just not really sustainable. People are already stretched thin. So the cost of relying on manual processes isn't just like personal burnout for, different teams or employees, but it's also missed opportunities, errors, wasted cycles on repetitive tasks. So automation, from my perspective, and from those of us working on especially AI automation at Zapier, it's moved from a nice to have to just a complete necessity, because it's really the only way to scale without scaling headcount at the same pace.
Absolutely. And Vikram, I know obviously we know video has been a core part of how our team communicates internally with businesses. But what changes have you seen given the rise of AI and tools like Zapier and ours? Have you seen how quickly teams need to move forward from like idea to finished content?
Yeah, I think COVID changed the game around video. That's when video really took off. Although, like, humans have been communicating in person with audio for millennia, since the beginning of time. But video is the closest alternative to that. And I think COVID, when people were not able to communicate in person as much, uh, video just took off. The technologies just took off. And the expectations took off as well. Because before that, it might be you send a script to a agency, they take 2 weeks to send you the first draft, and you iterate some more and then get a final ready video in a month. Now people are expecting to do videos in days, in perhaps within the same day, because with AI, everything has changed. ChatGPT will give you the script. They want to turn that right away into a video. And so I think the expectations have changed with AI. COVID was kind of a big driver, I think, for videos.
Absolutely. And is there anything that you've seen? Is there anything that sort of sounds familiar there, Candice, with what Vikram was describing. With your teams now, obviously using AI to its fullest. Is there any like particular tasks or functions that they, that you've been able to master or conquer?
Yeah, I think really within Zapier, every team, every function is using some type of AI in their workflow. We've really been encouraged at the highest level from executive leadership that AI and familiarity with AI, incorporating it into our daily workflow is really just an expectation at this time. I would say, like on the PMM side for product marketing, we rely on AI tools like Claude to help us with content generation. We upload style guides that gives Claude the voice of Zapier from a brand perspective, and we're able to really up level our content production, both at just the rate of content we're able to produce, but also the quality. I know also as well on our social side, our social team heavily relies on video content as well. So just like Vikram was mentioning, from generating scripts, storyboards, all of that, there's some type of AI workflow that's pushing forward that content creation cycle. So I think honestly, every day we see examples internally at Zapier of teams using AI, but also just from customers who are really experimenting, testing, and incorporating AI into their Zapier workflows. We're seeing a lot of unique examples. So it's really fun to actually see how many keep coming out. And I'm excited too, after our contest that we're promoting, how many we'll see using Pictory as well.
Absolutely. And what was pretty incredible was the stats of why people aren't actually doing this. You creating video period within their business. It's too costly. 50% of businesses. This is a Wiseout survey from 2 years ago. 50% said it was too costly. A lot of them lack the expertise, and then obviously 76% of them saying it's too time consuming. And I think, like, going back to what Vikram was saying, you know before this, it was a lot of back and forward. I think it was like on average, like 3 to 5 tools were being used. Obviously, you had multiple teams, and I think the average turnaround was around 2 weeks for a video, and that was for like a very strong, video editor and someone that understands, what you want and what you want to do. And I think AI now has managed to overtake that. But Vikram, you mentioned. What do you see? Obviously, you see everything from like a bird's eye view. What are the biggest challenges you see our customers, other customers facing when it comes to scaling or creating this video content?
So I think the biggest challenge still remains the time taken, and the cost. Like you listed those two things, and those are the two big things. But with AI, the content creation piece, the text script creation has gotten really fast. As Candace mentioned, with the brand guidelines and everything, that happens really fast. The video piece, still a lot of people struggle with because they may not have the expertise of those tools like Adobe Premiere and so on. So that's where we come into the picture, is try to make anybody into a video expert by just repurposing their content and turning that into video.
Yeah, exactly.
So
And is there sort of piggybacking off that, where are you seeing sort of teams get stuck most within their workflows? Unless, of course, they're using Copilot, which I'm sure is going to solve like 99.9% of all those issues. But was there any things that you were seeing teams get stuck on?
Yeah, definitely with tool sprawl. So, what we like to think of is just the sheer volume of tools, especially for teams who are maybe sitting within different orgs, cross-functional groups rely on different tools. So, it can be, I would say, like time consuming for sure for individuals to manage their own tools and then trying to align with other teams internally. So that's huge. And then the second would be just over reliance on manual steps and processes. So every time your workflow is reliant on the action of one person to remember something or do something in particular, That there's a hidden cost within that because that's taking time and resources away from something that could be automated or could be done more seamlessly. So I would say for sure those two areas, just the amount of tool management and then reliance on overall on manual steps.
I think and tools sprawl is expensive, right? You've got so many tools doing one slice of a certain thing. I think now, like with what Copilot can do and with what Pictory can do, because we can solve basically everything from like idea generation right up to the point where you can go and post it. This is like, I don't want to keep harping on about how great this partnership is, but I cannot overstate like this partnership has made things so much easier if you're building any type of video within your business, or again even just trying to automate some of those like really tedious tasks. Now, one thing I wanted to do a quick demo on, and Vikram very kindly actually put together a build using Pictory and also the Copilot by Zapier. So Vikram, you're going to have to do your best David Attenborough impression now when you're narrating over the video, and he's going to walk you through exactly what he built. So grab your pens and paper, everyone. He's going to walk you through this, and you'll see by the end, it's so straightforward and so simple now to start building videos within your business.
So a lot of it is based on this new integration we launched. So the workflow scenario here is I have a spreadsheet with a bunch of URLs that I'm going to convert to video. And there's this Copilot piece in Zapier where I can just simply give an instruction to create a new Zap. So the instruction says, take the URL from sheet 1, send it to a Pictory URL, create a storyboard rendering, and then use Zapier AI to create a great title, and finally post it to video, to YouTube, using YouTube integration. So pull the URL from Google Sheet, use Pictory to render the video, use Zapier AI to create title and description, and then upload to YouTube, and then write the URL, the YouTube URL back into the spreadsheet. So the Copilot does a fantastic job. It thinks for a few minutes, and it'll actually put the whole workflow together for you. It even does all the authentication that you need to set up. It transfers the right type of data. So all of that, it does it for you. So we'll give it a few more seconds for it to come back. You can see it's come back already. It created all the steps. So you see the Pictory module. It says render storyboard, then render video, then AI by Zapier to analyze and return the data, the YouTube title and description, and then upload to YouTube where we use the YouTube plugin of Zapier, and then finally update the spreadsheet row with the YouTube URL. So most of it is done, but AI still needs checks and human in the loop. So we will go and configure each step specifically, and you'll see kind of what's happening, and we'll fix every step and make sure it works reliably the whole way. So the first step is the spreadsheet row. Whenever there's a new row in that spreadsheet, so I'm going to pick the right sheet. I'm going to say trigger based on that column, which is called URL. And every time you're adding a Zapier step, you should test it. And the test will show you that, hey, these are the 3 rows. So I pick one of the rows and I say, use this for my testing. Now the next step is the Pictory plugin module. Zapier module has your authentication. So this authentication, the client ID and client secret, is something you get when you purchase the Pictory API access. There's several different things available here. There is a render video from blog posts. There's create storyboard from PowerPoint, create storyboard from template. There's a bunch of different functions that we've provided here. And so in this case, we're using create video from URL. And I'm just gonna, so the URL is gonna come from the Google Sheet. So I'm just connecting the Google Sheet here. If you have a brand set up in your account, it can use that brand, or you can just say, I don't want to use any brand. I want to use the default things. And then Same thing with the voiceover. It gives you a list of all the voiceovers that are available to you, or you can upload the voiceover from your spreadsheet. So in this case, one of my columns was the speaker name, and the only field I need here is the URL. So give it the URL, give it the voice, and boom, test this step, and it'll create the storyboard. So every Pictory function operates in 2 steps. You first create a storyboard, and then you have to render the storyboard. So there's a function here. You'll see render storyboard preview, and then all you have to give it is a job ID that is returned from the previous step, from the storyboard step. So connect the job ID and test this step, and then this one is tested, and it's going to be done. And then the next step is where I take the URL and I am going to create a YouTube description and title and description that I will send to YouTube. So by the way, Zapier automatically came up with this prompt for me saying, based on this, imagine you're a content marketer and create a compelling YouTube title and a detailed description and keywords and all of that. The Copilot came up with this prompt for me. All I do now is I just have to test this prompt. So I have to click on this generate preview. It'll test the step, and then I'm ready to publish this whole workflow. So there's one final step after this I'll talk about. So I've tested this step. Now I get a title and description. Now I use a YouTube connector, the Zapier module for YouTube. I get the title from the previous step, and this is the AI generated title. I get the AI generated description from the previous step. The YouTube video URL comes from the render storyboard step, because that's the output from Pictory. So you just connect where the video is coming from. And finally, the tags or the keywords that will be uploaded to YouTube. And once you get all of that, test this step, it will return a URL. And my final step is I will actually write that URL back into that spreadsheet. Use that same row that I got from the first step, and then I write the YouTube play URL into that spreadsheet. So it kind of, this is all, it's like 6 steps, and you have this automated now. Every time you add a new row in the spreadsheet, it's going to automatically create a YouTube video from it. And so let's see what one of those videos looks like once we publish the workflow. And after that, I mean, while this was showing instantaneously, it takes a few minutes to process everything, but you can see what one of those videos looks like.
Video content is now effortless and achievable with AI tools. Imagine watching your words morph into engaging visuals, voiceovers, and animation.
Yeah, you can see the title and the description come over. It pulls some images from the blog, other images it uses stock videos, and this whole thing is pretty much done in minutes. I think there was a question about the thumbnail. So right now we haven't automated that. That's another piece that we can automate right now. YouTube will automatically pick one of the frames as thumbnails, but that could be another AI step in the middle where we call image generate or something to create a thumbnail and then upload that along with YouTube.
Yeah, I think with thumbnails, especially for YouTube, it's so important. It's one of the primary, click drivers. So I would always recommend, have a test formats in advance, and you can always use a template that goes into that's in the sheet prior to as well, if I'm not mistaken, Vikram.
Yes, you can upload a thumbnail from a Google Sheet as well. So you can just, as you're doing it, you could have it manually generated and put the link in there, and it'll upload that to YouTube.
Amazing. So what was it? So first of all, I hope this shows everyone just like how ridiculously easy it is to create a video now or to start automating everything within your business. I think this leaves, I would say, like almost there's no excuses anymore. You know, it saves time. It's obviously going to be a lot cheaper than hiring a lot of people, and you don't really arguably need the expertise anymore, because the Copilot and with Pictory's AI video creation engine, it's a real match made in heaven. So question for you both. Obviously, Vikram, you've been using it. I've been using it as well. I'm just going to quickly add on top. I built a 9-step workflow within seconds when I was using this prior to the webinar, similar actually to what Vikram was doing. And obviously that further reinforces Pictory's goal for democratizing video content and creation for everyone. But what is it that you both love using? What is it you both love about using Copilot? So Candice, I'll hand it over to you.
Yeah, thank you. So I think what's evident even in just watching this demo, speaking from a marketing perspective, is the work that would used to go into this really would take days and days, weeks, multiple employees. So it's really, I think, important just to recognize like how streamlined this really is. And for me personally, I love using Zapier Copilot for enablement purposes. So I work with a lot of sales team members, partner managers, and the good problem that we have at Zapier is there is so much content. We are doing a lot with AI, but trying to understand how to surface that to the right stakeholders can be a challenge for sure. So I've developed workflows where I ask Zapier to identify specific people based on job title, give them an option to opt into alerts that include like interesting news articles or sales enablement content, and gives them the option to opt in, so they receive that via Slack. So it's kind of a way to just interface with internal stakeholders and essentially streamline what would have been me taking manual steps to create a report or an email. And so that's a fun part of my work that I like to automate. But there's so much more. And for me, I try to keep it simple to start. So I'll come up with a simple problem that I'm looking to solve, and then it just goes from there. And Copilot is great because you can ask it to assess like how good your prompts are. It can give you suggestions too. So even if you're like, I don't really know where to start, if you ask Copilot, it can help you out.
Yeah, it's interesting what you were saying there about keeping it simple and tackling one problem at a time. What would you say? Would you say good advice for someone is to think of a problem that's maybe taking like 20 minutes, 30 minutes of their time every day, the thing that they hate doing the most, like in terms of maybe like admin or video creation or reporting?
Yeah, I think that's a great way to look at it. Like, where do you get stuck in your workflows? Where are you maybe procrastinating a little bit? Something needs to get done, but you don't want to start it. So
Yeah.
I think that's a really good place to start, or thinking about, is there a repetitive process that's crucial to my role? And maybe it's not even something you have to do on a daily basis, but a weekly or monthly basis. Is there a manual workflow that I could set up and just take that off my to-do list entirely, so I can just set it up in the background and just let it go on its own?
What's interesting, Vikram? I was thinking, whilst Ken was talking, I was thinking about how when you first created when you were doing the investor report, sort of quarterly reports to the board, and then you first created the video where you took basically just the slides and then you put it into PowerPoint to video with Pictory, and then that whole video was created with your voiceover, which you imported in as well. But that got me thinking that you could easily now, with something like Copilot, arguably you could even do it without even having to create the slides anymore, because you could have all of that come from a sheet or from the report directly into the video, and then send a notification out to the investors or to the board at the end of the month.
Yeah, I mean, what's exciting about this, the Zapier workflow and also the Copilot, what's really exciting for me is I can start with any piece of content anywhere it lives. So my PowerPoint or my Word document can live in OneDrive. I can pull it from there, turn that into a video, and then push that into Slack, push that into Teams, push that into YouTube, wherever I want to push it. So kind of what you're talking about, but take the PowerPoint from OneDrive, push it into an email if I want to, and just directly send it. Um, and the other beautiful thing in the Copilot AI by Zapier is Zapier has added human in the loop step as well.
Mm.
And what is really interesting about that is suppose you still want to make sure that everything is good before you send it out, right? In this example I showed you, this was fully automated. There was no human in the loop. But I can imagine in a real scenario, like where Candace is, like, there's probably somebody who should review the video before it goes out and gets published. So with this Pictory plugin plus the human in the loop step, we could do that as well. You just review the video, make sure it's good. If you need to make changes, you can make changes and then render it and send it off to YouTube. So there's a lot of scenarios. This opens up all kinds of sources, all kinds of destinations, all kinds of AI related workflows.
There is, when I was doing the build with Pictory and Copilot a couple of days ago, one thing I'd done for the human in the loop was I sent a Slack notification to myself, and then with the video, and from there I could literally just do like a thumbs up or a thumbs down for it, and then the next step will be processed immediately. I was like, wow, I know I'm that guy today on the web, and I'm just like, everything is amazing, but I can't overstate, like, it is like it's a real game changer. So I'm very optimistic and excited for what the rest of the year has, us using it here within Pictory's marketing team. There is a couple of questions that came in. George says, can AI imagery be created instead of using stock? I'm going to have like a half answer at that, and then I'll let Vikram take that one over. But we have sort of Gen AI image creation within the Pictory app coming very, very soon. How would that work potentially, Vikram, using something like the Pictory API, or is there any best advice on how to get that set up?
Yeah, once we have it in our web app in the product, as you mentioned, it's coming within the next couple of months at the latest. We will soon have that capability in the API as well, and also in the Zapier integration. So it's coming soon. For now, you can still send imagery, like if you generate it, say using a Zapier Midjourney integration, for example, you can send that into the Zapier and have Pictory use that to render the videos. So you still have the option.
And would that apply for something along the lines of like a video time limit within the API? Can you set like a video time limit as part of that creation process? Or could you
Yes.
maybe ask that as like the leading question, create a 90-second or 1 minute 30 video about X, Y, Z?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome. Really positive feedback from Nathan here. Said, I'm really happy to see this, and I would want to be a human in the loop to potentially choose new videos within Pictory myself. And then he's asked, can you make a step-by-step setup process to create a workflow that Vikram just described? So I think this might be a really good segue, if I dare say so myself, to hop on over into our upcoming automation challenge. So to answer your question, yes, we're going to be showcasing some of the best automation workflows that are created by Pictory and Zapier customers. So what we want to do is to get you to start using this, start using Copilot, start using Pictory, and start sharing your best automation and workflow. We're going to showcase them on our social media, and then near the end of the competition that we're going to be running here, we're going to be giving you links and access to the templates as well. So just to sort of jump the gun a little bit on the competition announcement, if you create a workflow and you're seeing success with it, we want to hear about it on social media. So tag Zapier, tag Pictory AI, use a hashtag PictoryXZapier. And then if you head on over to pictory.ai /PictoryXZapier, that's a simple Google form where you can go and submit your workflow. And then we're going to assess the ones that are doing absolutely awesome things. We've got judging criteria, which will be which are in the form, which you can go check out. But winners are going to get up to $500 in credits provided by a coupon code. So we encourage you all to go and give this a try. It's super easy to get going, but to make it even easier, we also want to give everyone that's joined us today on the webinar 30 days of Pictory API for free. So there's, again, sort of no excuse now to start creating those videos and start automating your businesses. So the best way to go and claim it is to head on over to pictory.ai /Pictory-API and then just use code PictoryXZapier and then start automating your videos. Actually, as you can see here on the right side, this is part of the process that I created myself. So it's super, super easy to do, guys. It's an absolute no-brainer. So get started using the Pictory API. Feel free to join the challenge. You don't have to use the API to submit a workflow, but obviously, it's going to make things a lot easier for yourself and for your business if you start using it. So that's it, folks. Thank you. Thank you very much. I want to maybe just sort of set this off with a couple of questions. Is there any, Candice, is there any best advice or anything that you feel would give them a better chance in terms of creativity or ideas when it comes to submitting a workflow?
Yeah, I think, we welcome all ideas, all types. Definitely utilize AI, Zapier Copilot, or your favorite AI tool to help you generate ideas. Zapier offers a free 2-week trial. So if you sign up for an account, you can just get started today really easily. Zapier also has a ton of templates, a ton of blog content, a lot of how-tos. So if you're new to automation, new to AI, and you want to understand more, and check out the resources on our website too. But there are no bad ideas. We're here to experiment and learn. So we're excited to see what you come up with.
Is there anything you've really seen that's super crazy in terms of an automation, or maybe the team internally have gone, wow, can you see what this person done in regards to automation? Is there anything you've seen that's just so out there and you're like, I can't believe that was done?
That's a good question. Sometimes we see stuff with Zapier agents, which we didn't get into too much today, but agents, they're fun little, we call them our AI teammates. So they're a little bit more advanced than a standard Zapier workflow. And we see people build teams of tens and 20, 30, 50 agents that all talk to each other. They run the businesses in the background for these teams. So people can come up with some really, complicated workflows with agents specifically. But yeah, that's always fun when we kind of see just the scale that people are building at.
And is there, Vikram, is there any, so what do you hope people discover about Pictory through this automation challenge?
Yeah, I think it's automation, literally automation of videos, because it's been video always has been a manual process, and with Zapier and Pictory's API, we're able to automate it. So I think that's kind of our main ask. We will be publishing those steps that I showed. We'll be publishing it as on a page on our website, but also. We also have examples. So there is a Pictory Zapier website on Zapier page. If you just search for Pictory Zapier, that will be the first link that comes up. And we have what's called templates, and there's a bunch of templates in there that you can see. So my hope is with this challenge, we can expand that possibilities of templates, the library of templates, because what's showing there is just the simple examples that our team could come up with. But I'm sure with the community, we'll come up with hundreds of new examples that we can expand the template, and just the knowledge grows a lot around video automation.
Absolutely. And is there any last piece of advice you want to give participants to get started? And that goes to both of you.
I would say just start building. Again, kind of my advice from before is start with something simple. Even if you just have an idea for a video, just get started with a storyboard and see what you can come up with. So yeah, we're looking forward to seeing all of the ideas come in.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's it. Just do it. Just do it
Just
is
do it.
is the Nike's logo, and I love it.
I've got a couple other questions. I think there's some here that are a bit more, I don't know whether or not they're related directly to the API, but so one is, can Pictory recognize that a video is being edited, but not initially made by Pictory, already has subtitles? So I'm not too sure of the question there, Alendri, but what I will say is if you drop us, head on over to our website, you can start a chat with our team there, and we can answer that. But I'll actually reach out to you direct, and we'll get.
I'll take a stab at that question too,
yeah.
because if you have a video that you've created elsewhere, like say this Zoom recording, and you want to add captions to it, we have a step in our API that will actually can add captions to that, or just get a transcript of the video. So there is an action in the Pictory Zapier integration that will let you add captions. There's another one called video summarization. So you can take a long 60-minute video and summarize it into, say, a 3-minute or a 5-minute video. And that's also part of that Zapier integration. There's a step called, there's an action called video summarizer.
Amazing. There's another question that Alendri says, thanks Alendri, thanks for the question, we appreciate it. Got a question from anonymous attendee who says, Pictory, my videos always generated in 9:16, but sometimes they might not display on mobile devices. Well, I need an option to adjust and move the videos. So what's the best way to optimize videos for mobile viewing? I would say it's going to depend on where you're posting it, because YouTube has a different format, Instagram has a different format. So on our blog, we do have like a list of like different dimensions where you can put for the different types of like social media places that you're posting. But my attempt at answering that question would be, it would depend entirely on where you're posting it. So optimize for that end result. Vikram, any other thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, we have those three options. Those are the only three options we have: either vertical 9:16, horizontal 16:9, or square. So again, like square is good for Instagram posts and even X, Twitter. Vertical works really well for Reels and pretty much all the other vertical platforms, TikTok and so on. And then horizontal is great for YouTube and LinkedIn and everything.
Absolutely. So that looks like we've got through all the questions there. So again, just want everyone to get started using the Pictory API. Head on over to pictory.ai/Pictory-API, and then just use code PictoryXZapier. It's 30 days free. There is you'll need to use a card because it's a free trial, but if you cancel obviously beforehand, then you won't get charged. But I want everyone to really go and actually like do the automation challenge. Like this is something that's going to free up so much of your time. So again, guys, if you've got any other questions, let us know. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. And Alendri actually just says, I'm so happy to hear of such a collaboration between Pictory and Zapier. I've been using them separately. Thanks. So amazing, Alendri. We can't wait to see the automation workflow that you're going to be building. Candice, Vikram, any other sort of final thoughts or questions for the viewers?
Just thank you so much. I appreciate being able to join and meet folks here. We're looking forward to just continued collaboration and partnership with y'all too. So thanks so much.
Absolutely. Well, thanks everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Vikram. My apologies.
No, I was just going to say the same thing. Thank you for everybody's attention and time.
Yeah, so everyone, any other questions, feel free to connect with us on our customer service chat, and then I'll send a follow-up with the replay for everyone watching. So feel free to message us back if you've got any questions. So thanks again, everyone. Have a great rest of the day, and we look forward to seeing the workflows within our challenge.